postpartum period can be an incredibly tumultuous time. You've just brought this beautiful, magical life into this world, and all of a sudden, your entire existence is geared towards raising and caring for this child in full-on, ferocious mama, fight or flight mode. And in that, your body is changing, your life is changing, your responsibilities are changing, your life has turned on its head. And so losing your individual sense of identity as a woman is quite common and can be incredibly trying. Hair is seen publicly, but most importantly, privately, as a symbol of our identities. In biblical text, it's referred to as the crowning glory. And as women, we hold on to our hair as a symbol of our health and also our beauty. It can be incredibly hard then to experience postpartum hair loss, but I want you to know that you are not alone in what you're going through. When you're pregnant, you're taking your prenatal vitamins, you're nourishing yourself, you're resting hopefully, and your body is building itself in such a way that it creates an environment internally that is optimal to raise a life. And in doing so, one of the things that benefits externally is our hair. Women experience some of the most luscious, thick hair of their lives during their pregnancies. And there's a reason for this. When you are pregnant, there is more estrogen produced by your body in order to support the growth of your baby and the health of your uterus. When estrogen is in excess like this, more hairs are put into their growth phase than their shedding phase. I'll explain this a little bit. Hair cycles through 3 phases of growth: anagen, catagen, and telogen. Anagen is the growth phase, catagen is the settling phase, and telogen is the hair loss phase. And normal hair cycles through these phases every couple of months, and it's very normal. But when there is an excess of estrogen, in pregnancy, for example, it targets more hair to be put into the anagen or growth phase than ever before, which means that that hair that should normally be cycling through into catagen and then telogen phase and shedding is actually kept in the growth phase. So what ensues is longer, healthier, shinier hair. But in the postpartum period, once your baby has been delivered and that estrogen is no longer needed to support your uterus and the baby, the estrogen levels drop, and that anagen phase hair can finally catch up to its hair cycle, shuttling into telogen phase in larger quantities than usual because, like I said, it's catching up and we experience postpartum shedding. Shedding phase usually starts 3 to 6 months postpartum and completes by about 1 year postpartum. So it does grow back. The hair is not lost forever. But at the 1 year mark, if you are still experiencing massive shedding, then absolutely visit your healthcare provider and make sure that your hormones and your health in general are okay so that you can get to the bottom of why you might still be experiencing this loss. Loss at this point could be completely unrelated to the postpartum period and instead as a result of low iron or vitamin D, immunodeficiency, autoimmune disease, thyroid concerns, a side effect of medications, and so it is so important that you go and get help so that you don't have to suffer. In the meanwhile, there are no concrete ways for us to completely avoid the shedding phase. It is unfortunately something we all have to experience, but there are things that you can do on a day-to-day basis to ensure the environment of your scalp and your inner body are optimal to grow back that hair to its original thickness and health. The most important thing to do is to maintain a healthy diet and lifestyle, including one of low stress. And I know all new moms are going to tell me that's impossible, but as a healthcare provider, I can tell you that if we are no good to ourselves, we are no good to anyone else, especially a newborn child. So try your best to cultivate a lifestyle that is nourishing you as well as nourishing your child. Time is absolutely of the essence and entirely reliant on your baby's schedule, but when you do find the time and when you are able to eat a well put together meal, I hope you take advantage of it. It is so important that you intake as many micronutrients as possible, and these are things that you can very easily find when eating an abundance of colorful fruits and vegetables. That is where you want to start. But in supplement form, the things you can focus on are taking B complex vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, and probiotics. Rebuilding your gut microbiome is of the utmost importance. Probiotics are really easy to get into your diet. All you have to do is pick up something like kimchi, kombucha, sauerkraut, kefir, and consume that before every meal, or at least before one meal a day. I like to do it before every single meal, and I find that my digestion is so good because of it. But also in the long term, it helps restore my gut microbiome and feed on my prebiotics like garlic and leeks and onions that are going to create this healthy bacteria that is necessary for our bodies to thrive. Along with all this work you're doing on yourself internally, you can also support the process externally by doing things like scalp massages with essential oils. I love essential oils for hair regrowth and for creating a healthy scalp overall. And one of my most favorite ingredients is rosemary essential oil. So much so that it has actually been compared at length to minoxidil or Rogaine for hair loss. It is that effective. Rosemary essential oil has the highest antioxidant capacity, and so it does such an incredible job of fighting off free radical damage to create that healthy environment for hair regrowth. Another amazing oil is actually amla oil, and it is something that has been used traditionally for centuries. It has such a high concentration of vitamin C, and it's actually been said to restore the pigment of your hair. So wonderful if you are experiencing early graying. When you're doing these scalp massages, you want to use the essential oils in a carrier oil, never directly. And when choosing a carrier oil, my favorite is something like jojoba oil, where the molecule size is so small that it can actually penetrate the hair follicle and the strand effectively. Recently, I have been trying out the Nessa Organics Crowning Glory. Such a fitting name. And this is described as a fortifying hair and scalp oil for hormonal strands. And let me tell you how incredible this ingredient profile is. The carrier oils are jojoba, which I adore, but also argan oil. And together these create a beautiful mixture, which makes it so the essential oils within this are able to better penetrate deep into your follicle and do the work they're intended to do. It also contains the rosemary essential oil, which is so effective, as well as amla oil, but on top of that, it includes hibiscus extract and nettle leaf extract. I like to put it into my roots for about 30 minutes before I take a shower, and that's it. You can even leave it in your roots overnight if you'd like, or during the day if you want to slick your hair into a bun. While you are being so selfless in the postpartum period and caring for your family, I want you to save just a little bit of that kindness and nourishment for yourself. Instead of allowing deficiencies or exhaustion or trauma or suffering to compound over time, why not do the opposite and take care of yourself little by little each day? I know it's easier said than done, but I know that you're also more than capable of doing it. I hope you have a wonderfully healthy postpartum period. Wishing you health and wellness.